I was a COSTAATT student from 2001. You're enrolled in 2001, and I graduated, completed the program in 2004. So that would be a sum total of 3 years. I was a part-time student, but I was also a financially strapped student. So it was imperative for me in those days to get in and get out because money was tight, let's put it that way. In many ways, COSTAATT education, the time I spent at COSTAATT, the instructors I had, and my peers all contributed to precisely who I am right now. COSTAATT really allowed me to mature, align my critical thinking skills, and find ways to apply theoretical knowledge that may underpin a particular discipline, in my case information technology, and really apply it to almost any real world solution. And going through my bachelor's degree after and my MBA, it was really hilarious in many ways that even for my MBA I was still using the foundations of what COSTAATT gave me almost 10 years before. My thought process, my work ethic, how I apply things, and I think that is an invaluable, not ever discussed part of COSTAATT life and COSTAATT's education. I was really in search of less of a certification and more of growth. And when again, as I said, my experience is usually unique. I spent a lot of time, even at that young age, because I'm pretty old now compared, to research, to ask people who were in the program before, to find out about a couple of faculty members, to see what kind of people they were and what kind of instructors they were. To get my hands on the curriculum so I could see what they were actually doing, because it was really important for me, more than having a certificate, but to actually get good. I wanted to become better, I wanted to grow, I wanted to think differently. So I spent a lot of time beforehand looking at my options. I looked at multiple private institutions in Trinidad. I had concerns at the time with some of those private tertiary education institutions that it was less about learning and more about certification. And as I said, my core focus was education, not certification. So I finally chose COSTAATT, and semester 1, day 1, I didn't regret it. I always remember my introduction to programming class, a gentleman by the name of Carlos Lewis, with whom I now have the pleasure of interacting with professionally. And Carlos said, everything you need in life, you were given in kindergarten. And all 30 of us sat there like, what? Shapes, colors, red square into red square. So I'm like, that kind of makes sense though. And that was it. Foundation, day 1, semester 1, I looked back and said to myself, okay, I'm in the right place. There was no gate in those days. There was actually a program called Dollar for Dollar, which I was very happy for. But it still meant I had to find half of my tuition. So, you're struggling there, check to check, month to month, traveling on the bus route to class, leaving, ungodly hours in the night, and having to fight your way to get back home with the masses. But when I look back at that 3-year period, as I said, it fundamentally changed who I was at core, and it served the exact purpose I was looking for, which is my educational growth. It was nice to get a certificate too, but the educational growth was there. So yeah. But facing the world as an adolescent, young adult, 20-something, early 20-something with 5 O-levels was interesting. Even in those days, you could do it. It's not impossible. Get into UE, I was a clerical assistant 1, a secretary. So I could come to work every day and, file files, type memos, pick up the phone. But there was something about me wanting more, and not wanting more from life or from buying stuff or commercial stuff, but my brain wanted more. So, COSTAATT, as I said, really helped to form that. And then as I got into life, I would apply. So after I left school in 2004 and graduated, I spent like the next 2 to 3 years really just applying a lot of what I learned in COSTAATT. And it was professional growth and growth and growth and growth. COSTAATT is the embodiment of the idea of putting education first in Trinidad to try to reform the country. But as I said, more than anything else, what COSTAATT really has done for me broad in life, not just professionally, is it's allowed me to not see any challenge as being too grand, not see any problem as being too big, and remind me that I actually can. Full stop. I can.